Welcome to Kaywon Action Star. Watch. A ruthless mafia harmed her only daughter, and that reawakened the silent, deadly, wild, and untamed killer instinct in her that cannot be controlled. She longed for a peaceful, secluded existence with her daughter, out of sight, and craving tranquility. But when you're born a warrior, even trying to fade away won't protect you when a brute viciously harms your innocent child. That act of cruelty stirred something inside her, something deadly, wild and untamed, that had long been buried. A dormant killer reawakened, and that day, many lives would be shattered. So, there's this woman named Hazel. She's incredibly strong and even more devoted to what she does. Her story is all about the lengths she'll go to protect her daughter. Hazel runs a quaint little eatery, something of a neighborhood gem. Locals adore her, especially the police officers who dine there frequently. She even gives them complimentary meals as her way of showing gratitude. Hazel's daughter, Joy, is 19 and far from content with their current lifestyle. One afternoon, Joy asks for money to help cover college expenses, but Hazel refuses, saying it's just not feasible. That really sets Joy off. She lashes out, saying she's fed up with their way of living and wants something greater. Hazel tries to soothe the situation and suggests Joy pitch in at the diner or eatery for now. Later, a ragged-looking man named Elliot walks in. He places an order, eats, but realizes he's got no cash. Joy gets furious, ready to throw him out, but Hazel intervenes. She listens to his story, how he just arrived in town, got robbed, and hadn't eaten in days. Feeling sympathy, Hazel offers him a job washing dishes and even gives him a place to sleep. That night, Hazel sees Joy leave with her boyfriend, Travis. Joy's still upset her mother didn't give her tuition money. Travis pressures her to find another way to get it. You can tell Joy is conflicted, but she agrees to ask again tomorrow. Later, Hazel stumbles upon Elliot mid-bath. It's less strange than it sounds. They live in a cramped trailer with little privacy. Joy isn't thrilled her mother let a total stranger stay. She's worried he could be dangerous. Hazel explains he was just in need. Still determined about college, Joy asks again for the money and swears she'll repay every penny. But Hazel stands her ground. Travis appears again and Joy leaves with him, ignoring her mom's request to help during the dinner shift. When Joy later comes back to the eatery, something's off about her. She's seen wearing sunglasses indoors. Hazel immediately senses something's wrong. One glance reveals it. Joy has bruised eyes. When Hazel demands the truth, Joy admits Travis hit her, but downplays it as an accident. Hazel's not convinced. She tells Joy to handle the customers, then slips away to the trailer. She pulls a pistol from beneath the bed, hides it in her jacket, and heads out. Her target, the auto shop where Travis usually hangs out. She spots him there with a friend. Calmly, she asks to speak with him outside. Travis declines, says she can speak right there. Hazel's had enough. She brings up what he did to Joy. Travis brushes it off, calls it a minor disagreement. Hazel loses it. She slugs him in the face. When he starts bleeding, she pulls the gun. Suddenly Travis panics. He starts begging, but Hazel isn't in a forgiving mood. She ties him up, tosses him in the car, and drives to a secluded spot where a shallow grave already waits. She tells him she always had a hunch about him, that this day would come. Despite his frantic pleas, she forces him into the hole and walks away. Back at the diner, Joy is uneasy. Travis hasn't called or messaged. She asks her mother if she's heard from him. Hazel, completely composed, lies and says yes, they talked. He supposedly mentioned plans to leave the country. Joy's puzzled. She insists Travis runs a business and wouldn't just vanish. Hazel advises her to let it be and concentrate on the restaurant. Soon after, Hazel notices a man inside the diner snapping photos, specifically of Elliot. She heads over to confront him, but the man bolts before she can question him. She finds it odd but lets it slide. Later that evening, after closing up, Hazel brings it up to Elliot. He claims he doesn't recognize the guy and would have spoken up if he did. Hazel chuckles, saying her daughter thinks he might be a serial killer. Elliot laughs and says he's never harmed anyone, just prefers solitude. The following morning, Hazel spots that same shady man again. He's clicking more shots of Elliot before speeding off. This time, Hazel tails him to a rundown motel. She storms in, demanding answers. The guy finally confesses, he's some sort of journalist or investigator. He's been digging into Elliot's past. Apparently, Elliot was once a renowned heart surgeon who disappeared after his girlfriend died under unclear circumstances. The man shows Hazel several files and reports on his laptop. She reviews them, takes a copy, and leaves in silence. Meanwhile, at home, Joy is breaking down. She hasn't received a word from Travis and breaks into tears. Hazel consoles her the best she can, suggesting maybe it's a hidden blessing. Joy isn't convinced. Just then, a stranger walks into the diner with a message. Hazel's former employer, someone named V, wants to meet her in Vegas. He's just gotten out of jail and is summoning her. Hazel agrees to go. That night, before leaving, Joy confronts her again, this time directly asking if she had something to do with Travis's disappearance. Hazel remains calm and tells her daughter she would never allow anyone to harm her. Joy is her whole world. Everything she's done was for her. But Joy isn't sure. She secretly takes Hazel's car keys and drives off to hang out with a crew of shady friends. There, she turns to drugs for comfort. Luckily, or perhaps not, the same officers who frequent Hazel's diner are the ones who find her. They scoop her up and bring her home. Alone now, Hazel sits with Elliot and brings up something serious. "Were you truly a heart surgeon?" she asks quietly. Elliot doesn't answer right away, but his expression gives it away. Then he nods. "Yeah, I was," he finally says. That's when Hazel lays the file in front of him. "You killed your girlfriend, didn't you? That's why you're hiding here." Elliot looks stunned and quickly responds. "I didn't murder her," he says. "We were driving, and I'd been drinking. I shouldn't have been behind the wheel. There was an accident. She didn't survive. I've never forgiven myself." Hazel listens, then stands up, preparing to leave for Vegas. "You're in charge of the place while I'm gone," she says. And just like that, she's out the door. In Vegas, Hazel meets an old associate named Val, V for short. He welcomes her with a big smile and says it's been ages. Hazel doesn't return the warmth. "I need one last favor," he says. "Someone needs to be taken care of." Hazel cuts him off before he finishes. "No, I'm done with that life." But V keeps pressing, insists it's the final job. He even hands her an envelope of cash. Hazel reluctantly agrees and returns home to gear up. Her mark is a man named Perry. Hazel gets close to him, but when the time comes, she just can't do it. There's something authentic about him. Instead of pulling the trigger, she returns home, conflicted and lost. Back at the diner, Elliot's still there. They share a drink, and one thing leads to another. By dawn, they've spent the night together. As she gets dressed, she reminds him, "I'm heading to Vegas." Again, hold things down, okay. Back in Vegas, Hazel returns to Val with the job undone. He's not pleased. "You're slipping," he mutters, but she doesn't flinch. "I've changed. That life's behind me." He tries threatening her, implying she still owes him. Hazel just walks out without another word. On the drive back, her face is tight with worry. She knows this isn't over. When Hazel gets home, she finds Joy waiting on the porch. Her daughter's eyes are red, her voice unsteady. "I need to know the truth," she says. Hazel nods. "Come inside." They sit at the kitchen table as Hazel lays everything out. Her old life, the jobs she did, how she tried to leave it behind. Joy listens, stunned but not angry. Just quiet. Suddenly, there's a knock. Hazel peers through the peephole. Two men in suits. She opens the door a crack. "Hazel Mayfield," one asks. "We need to talk about Travis." Hazel stiffens. Joy bolts up, but the men aren't cops, they're private investigators. They say Travis had been under surveillance for fraud and vanished just before he was due in court. Hazel looks at Joy. "I didn't touch him," she says softly. Joy finally believes her. The next day, Elliot disappears. Hazel finds a note tucked beneath the register. It says, "Thanks for letting me breathe for a while. I needed this." Hazel smiles faintly. She folds the paper and pockets it. A few weeks pass. The diner's busier than ever. Joy's back behind the counter, serving with a lightness Hazel hasn't seen in years. Hazel sits at her usual booth, sipping coffee. Life feels manageable again, like the storm finally passed. Then, one quiet evening, a car pulls into the lot. A familiar face steps out, Perry, the man Hazel was supposed to kill. He doesn't look scared, just curious. Hazel watches him approach, her hand tightening around her mug. "We should talk," he says. She nods once. As the sun sets behind them, they sit across from each other in a nearly empty eatery, strangers with too much history between them. Outside, the neon sign flickers. Inside, something like peace settles in, for now at least. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel for more beautiful recaps like this. Put down your comments below to let me know what you think about the turn of events in this storyline. And also give my video a thumbs up to further motivate me. Share too for others to enjoy. Until my next recap, cheers!